Yep.
Now with your colonies, if a new set of beavers is going to come in, would they come in by water?
Most likely.
Rather than down the peninsula from the top?
Yep. Yep, they usually come in for the water. It's much safer for them to travel that way than across land. They will go across land. I'm not going to say that they never ever cross land, but that's much safer for them. They can avoid everything in their coyotes, foxes, sometimes even raccoons will mess with them. Fishers, things like that.
Since putting in the beaver deceiver alters the water level temporarily, are there seasons that you can't or not willing to do that in because of the beaver's comfort?
Well, yeah, we don't want to do it. We don't want to lower the water level too low in the winter that they'll freeze to death. And also in the spring, it's hard to do because it depends on how much rain you get and how high the water is. You have to try to decide if the water's high due to the rainfall amount or beaver activity. And that gets a little tough. In the summer, it's really easy to do. In the fall, most likely easy to do, again, depending on rainfall. But I mean, there's no restrictions other than in the winter we don't want to really breach a dam because the beaver can freeze to death.
But even in the late fall, after they've gone to all the trouble of building their lodges and getting their food cache together, their entrance is just under the water. If you lower the water, then they've got to start all over again, don't they?
They don't really have to start all over again, they just have to build down. In the fall is the most active time for beaver. They're out almost every single night and they're doing stuff, and they'll do it until they get ice over, basically. So it isn't as much, if you're going to do anything to a beaver in the fall, it's not that big of a deal because they can have things repaired like that. They're pretty quick.
If we needed to do work now, we could.
Yep. Yep. Yeah, for a short time now. It's getting towards the end of it. You know, after Christmas or New Year's, you're probably past the winter. Yeah.
So we're right here.
Okay.
And we're going to turn on that road right there, which will take us, let's see, to this area.
Well, not that far.
It's not quite that far.
It's
It's right
here.
in back. This is
yeah.
the area where they flooded.
Yeah.
And here's a brook coming from this way that connects with another brook.
Yep.
And so we're going to go this way today.
Okay.
We're going to look over here, and then we're going to go across and in an area where we can and connect with this side of Honey Brook.
Okay.
And so what we have found so far in this area is a lodge here, which looks like it might be old. We found several dams on Honey Brook and a big bank lodge. You found some lodges upstream, right?
In front of the bunkers.
Somewhere.
Yeah, in that
Up
bunker
here.
area. The
Right.
rectangles of the
These
bunkers.
are old World War II bunkers.
Yeah.
Right, and there actually there are, I think, how many aspen tree? A number, older ones, and then this year 7. Were there 7
Yeah,
taken
it's interesting
down?
because it's a large stand of really nice aspens on the water, and they're just seem to be recently really starting to work on it. So we've still got some expansion going on.
Yep. Yeah.
But you can see how small this area is. Is that typically the size of one colony?
You could have more than one.
Really?
there.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Goodness,
Yeah.
here.
We have one area near the rail trail in West Boylston, right near the Wachusett Reservoir, that we have 3 or 4 active colonies within a quarter mile.
Wow, a quarter of a mile.
Wow.
Wow, I didn't realize.
And you can determine that by
Number of active lodges.
And they wouldn't have, say, the parents in one lodge and a cousin in the next, and they're all part of the
Oh yeah,
same.
they could all be
I mean,
related.
a 1-year-old
but
or a
those are
2-year-old.
still considered different colonies.
Okay.
But if it's a 1 or 2-year-old, it would be
Then
part of the same.
You're
colony.
assuming a breeding pair per active
Right.
lodge.
With a lodge. Yep. Yep.
Well, why don't we go look at them,
Yeah.
and maybe
There
probably
are
be
other
easier to
areas we
talk
could
about.
show.
that.
That is probably not this year.
Wow. So that's a year old,
At least, yeah.
at least.
Yeah.
What are you looking at right now, Mary?
Right here.
This tree? Okay.
Yeah,
Yep.
If it
he's
were
saying
from this
over a
year,
year.
you'd see
Oh yeah, it's pretty dark.
a lot more fresh
Yeah,
cut. You'd probably even see chips on the bottom.
right. You don't
If it
see
was
any.
from this summer.
Yep.
Could have been from last winter. That, so maybe flirting with about a year old.
Yeah.
Okay, so we should assume that they're going to eat some of these trees in the middle. 'Cause I bet they die before they do. It seems like such a waste.
But they'll eat them
They didn't
anyway.
ask me.
Well, they don't need to eat them. They'll
Only
eat
me.
the other ones, but they can knock them down and use them, and they're already in the water.
Yeah.
So they'll float. Once they knock them down, they're much easier to move if they're already in the water. They don't even have to drag them anywhere.
Yeah.
They don't have to pull them off the land.
Will they
Right.
typically gnaw them above the water level so that we would see?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, they can't hold their breath that long.
We found the lodge on the other side, looking this way, but now that the trees have no leaves, we think we can see it from this side. That's why we're.
The fold out,
So
they need that fresh mud on top
They
to
would do that just before the winter, no matter how well constructed it was?
what? Put the mud on there?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah. they
Okay,
need
so
to do mud on
always an active, all right.
there. Yep. And you know it's hard because I can only see two sides to see if there's a food cache there. And a lot of times, especially when you start to get this little bit of icing, they'll keep an area right around the lodge open where they're coming in and out. They could have come here, thought about setting up shop, and then moved on. Or it could have been the dispersing young that left this spring. So when they kick the young out to go find their own place, they'll travel a waterway and test certain areas to see if they get either bumped by more beaver or if there's enough food for them.
Okay.
So they could always.
On the far side, over that way, there are some major trees that have been almost cut down, and they are very fresh.
Huh.
But still not good enough as a sign for active.
Not by itself. I wouldn't use that sign ever by
Okay.
itself.
Okay, good.
Because any beaver could be passing through.
Wow.
Even sometimes this late in the
lot of
year, there'll
damage.
be a beaver passing through.
Are you interested in what trees they're using? Do you?
Not specifically, not from a research perspective. Myself, yes. I always try to note which trees they are cutting.
Okay, we've been doing that as much as we
Yeah.
can tell.
Yep.
Well, so that's this one.
Fresh mud on the top and on this side of it.
Our
And-
side?
Yes, on our side. And if it's pretty well maintained, you should be able to walk across that
Okay.
pretty easily.
With no visible water coming over.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah. And if you're ever not sure, like I said, make a little patch in it about that big, put a stick in it, and see if they patch it up.
The
You
stick
could-
being a marker
Just to mark where
you had
you
done it.
where you
Okay.
had done it. Yep.
Is it improbable that another colony moving on the move looking for a place would take over one like this? Is that improbable?
No, they could do that.
They could.
Yep. Yep. You had ones further upstream. They could be out exploring. They usually don't do much exploring this time of year. They're so food driven to get that food cache big so they can get through the winter. But late summer, from the spring to late summer, definitely you can get some scouting through and either expand their territory or take over a new one if this has more food than the one they're currently in.
Why would they have left this area if there's so much food
Yeah,
for
my
them?
question too.
Don't know. I don't have any theories. I mean, there's obviously plenty of food.
Yeah. Well, we do have a lot of coyote.
That could be the case.
Okay.
You can hear that water. But it was maintained a lot more recently than the other ones. See, this area here, there's mud and leaves and stuff on it. The sticks are all still bleached, sun bleached and stuff, but that noise drives a beaver insane.
Yeah.
They cannot stand to hear that.
So
I've had beaver actually chew through the piping that you saw, the culvert that's under there. We use about the same size pipe for some of our piping that goes through dam. They chewed through it because they could hear the water running
Wow.
through it.
Okay, well, so you're saying the mud is old, the logs are bleached,
Yep.
and
This-
the water's running through it, so
this
it's not
isn't-
used.
An active dam.
All right, what do you think of this here?